Hey everyone, Coach Wolverine with you today, and today's topic is actually something that has come up to me from a couple clients and a few friends of mine, and is actually something that resonates sensitively in my life. So today I would like to discuss with you guys 3 signs to tell that you are dealing with a narcissist. Whether you are dating, making friends, or just meeting new people, it can be helpful to know some of the signs for people with a narcissistic personality, or simply narcissistic traits. In relationships, they usually consider themselves superior. Potential habits may be, but not limited to, insulting and demeaning, no reciprocation of attention, demanding of constant admiration, loss of interest in you, promiscuity, spending your money on others, or humiliating you in public to enhance their own image. In the workplace, they may spend excessive amounts of time chatting with coworkers to impress them, making promises they don't keep, or they take credit for your hard work. As supervisors, they may bully you alone or in front of others. They may speak degrading of those above them, but then only have good things to say in their presence. So, sign number 1, their words. Watch for both extremely positive and extremely negative words about you or others. Here are some examples of positive, negative, apathy, or victimizing phrases. First, let's start with the positives. Extremely positive or seductive words are very likely. Things like, I love you, you're so wonderful. I've never met anyone so great as you are. You're so much more better than the others. You're the center of my life. I will give you everything you deserve. No one has treated you as good as I will treat you. The person you were with before was a real loser. I have had this great idea that will make me really famous someday. Let me tell you about it. Now, notice that much of these phrases are very comparative. That's actually a warning sign that you will eventually be compared negatively later on. So some extremely negative or disparaging examples are, that person over there, they're a real loser. Let me tell you about them. Or, the people who rejected my great idea are some of the stupidest people I have ever met. They don't know brilliance when it hits them in the face. My boss is really treating me unfairly. I'm thinking of going over to his head and getting him fired. I can't wait till everyone sees him being walked out of the office for good. He'll be totally humiliated. Notice the thrill of superiority and the lack of empathy, even if the other person is actually a lousy boss. So, words that show a lack of empathy or interest are always a staple with a narc. If you tell the person about a bad experience or vulnerability that you have, their response will often begin with, well, let me tell you what happened to me once. There's often no recognition or any concern or even the existence of your problem sometimes. Lack of validation. They lose interest quickly. Once they think they have you, this is why you will never feel validated by a narcissist. Last but not least, in the words to look for are victimizing words. Narcissists perpetually see themselves as superior, but on the flip side of that same coin, also as a victim. When they are exposed as not actually being so superior, they suffer what is often called a narcissistic injury. And yes, that's actually a technical term. Maybe they were turned down for a job promotion in favor of someone else. After such an injury, they will become obsessed with proving how bad the other person is and how wonderful they think that they are. They may go on a long rant saying things like, it's so unfair what they did, said, or are. I will show them. They're punishing me for being better than they will ever be. Sign number 2, your emotions. Now, I would like you to pay attention to your own emotions. How do you feel around this person? This person is so nice to you, you feel so loved and flattered, you might even have a euphoric feeling around them. They might almost seem too good to be true. That's a warning sign. People who intensely and endlessly flatter you are often not who they seem. Sometimes they are simply charming and not a narcissist, but unfortunately, most of the times it does mean that you are being seduced with these lovely poetic words by a narc, who will openly say them to the next person or organization that they get a chance to. Are you feeling stupid and inadequate? Some narcissists are so busy puffing themselves up that they don't even realize that they are putting you down in the process. It's so automatic for them, you might not even notice it consciously at first, but soon you may be filled with so much self-doubt and intrusive thoughts of, I wonder what they think of me. I'm not really that smart, talented, or attractive after all. I'm certainly not in their league, am I? Feel like you can't breathe? It's common for narcissists to suck up all of the oxygen in the room. Other people start feeling like they can't breathe because they can't get a word in. Whatever someone else says in the conversation gets steered right back to the narcissist. Prime example of self-centered attitude, they believe the sun and moon revolve around them. Sign number 3, their behavior. Notice what they do, more than what they say. Narcissists have lots of words to distract them and make up for their insensitive behavior. People constantly confront narcissists and are constantly frustrated rather than reflecting on their past behavior. Narcissists defend it and attack you for criticizing them, saying things like, "How dare you after all I've done for you?" So just become aware of their behavior and ignore their words excusing or distracting you from it. For example, instead of saying, "Why were you late?" you could say, "I'd prefer if you would let me know ahead of time if you were going to be late so I could make other plans." Then just leave it at that. If they fulfill or ignore your request, then you're going to know where they're going to stand. If there is an unchanging pattern or disregard for you and your request, then it might be time to consider ending that relationship because you're not going to be able to change that person. If you feel taken for granted, remember that narcissists like to win relationships, not have relationships. They might already be on the next conquest. If a narcissist also has a high conflict personality, that means that they will look for a target of blame when something goes wrong for them. They may blame you for something minor or non-existent, maybe even something that was done by someone else. Perhaps even by themselves, which is called projection. When they mess up, they often look for somebody close by to blame. "It's all your fault I didn't get that promotion. You should have spoken to the boss like I asked you. Now what are you going to do about it?" As with all of the high conflict personalities, they tend to blame people in close relationships with them. Girlfriends, boyfriends, wives, husbands, kids, parents, close friends, close neighbors, etc., etc., etc. Or people in authority positions, such as supervisors, business owners, police, government agencies, etc., etc. They often get stuck in a cycle of attacking a target of blame and defending themselves rather than getting any work done or paying attention to their family. This includes taking actions such as making angry phone calls, writing long email rants, or engaging in social media meltdowns. Notice if they ever have done something that 90% of normal people wouldn't do. It's the 90% rule. Something that you would never do. If so, regardless of their excuse, it usually means that there's a pattern of high conflict behavior under the surface which would support such extreme behavior. For narcissists, this often includes humiliating a partner or a child in public, sabotaging a coworker, or verbally attacking a colleague or employee in a meeting for something the narcissist themselves actually did. In conclusion, think of all of these patterns: words, your emotions, and their behavior as potential warning signs. None of this is a diagnosis, but rather just hints to help you decide who you actually want in your life. Of course, you might not be able to avoid this person. I want to emphasize that no one chooses to have a personality disorder or high conflict personality. So it's good to have empathy and compassion for them and treat them with respect, regardless of whether you distance yourself from them or manage a relationship with them. Whatever you decide to do, it helps to know what you're getting into. Therefore, be aware of their words, your emotions, and their behavior, especially the 90% rule. All right, that's it for today, guys. If you found this helpful, please drop a comment. As always, if you need some help with this, I got you. Send me an email or DM. I'd love to hear from you. Take care, everyone. Bye.